when my geometry teacher told me I'd use those skills in real life, this probably isn't what he had in mind.
Yeah, I didn't believe her either.
Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown, continuing with our Kill Team Tomb World stuff.
Yeah.
With the other of those teams and the actual Tomb-y Worldy one, the Necrons.
Yeah.
Specifically the Canoptek Circle.
Yes. Not to be confused with the Hyrotech
I was
Circle.
about to say that.
They're all circles.
And this
sometimes triangles now.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
This really should have been called the Canoptek Triangle.
Honestly, yes.
And I'm probably going to call them that from now on.
That's good.
Because a canoptek jar is like the jars that the Egyptians would hide, all their organs in. They have nothing to do with this at all. Like, this is not canoptek. Nothing about this is canoptek. Everything about this is triangular.
Yeah.
Or linear. So, what are these guys? Well, this is our second real Necron team, right? Because we had not counting the long forgotten index Necrons who are, dead and gone. This is our second Necron team. First was the Hyrotech Circle, which is all about one big guy and a bunch of little dudes.
Yeah.
This is also about one big gal and a bunch of little dudes, except it's more like one big gal, her two massive bodyguard bugs.
Her little chonky bugs.
And then a bunch of little dudes.
Yeah. But we have the makeup of your team, and that is going to be their archetype is recon and security.
Yep.
They're both good. But anyway, the makeup of the team, this is a one-box team. You have one of every option, basically, except for there's a little bit of mix and match with it with the tomb crawlers because they have different weapons. But anyway, you get your Canoptek Circle Geomancer. That's going to be your leader. You got two Canoptek Circle tomb crawlers. That's the guys who have the weapon options. You can either take two Twin Gauss Reaper cannons or whatever. Yeah, Twin Gauss Reapers. And then one transdimensional isolator, but you can only have one of those. Right. So either two of the Gauss Reapers or one Gauss Reaper, one isolator. And then you get one Canoptek Circle Accelerator, one Canoptek Circle Reanimator, and three Canoptek Circle Warriors.
Well, the Warriors do also have weapon options.
I guess they do have weapon options.
Yeah,
too.
They can choose between the Gauss Scalpel or the Tesla Caster.
So maybe there's a little bit of mix and match in there as well. But...
And be warned, if you're building these, that for some reason the rules will let you build the Accelerator and the Reanimator into normal Warriors, even though you would never want to do that because you can't take 5 Warriors and you always have to take an Accelerator and a Reanimator.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably just going to be the translation into 40k.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, so always build your specialists, whether you do the Isolator or the two Gauss Reapers. I've heard they're not the easiest to magnetize, but at the end of the day, they're Necron weapons. Unless somebody absolutely knows what they're going to be, like, just try to be honest and be like, oh yeah, I have one of this and one of that, or I have two of this. Just build them. I'd say build one Isolator and one Gauss Reaper, and then if you want both Gauss Reapers, just say they both have Gauss Reapers.
Yeah, and have both of them on your roster because that is absolutely a list tailoring thing there. That is part of this faction because, as we'll talk about, they have different strengths.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty straightforward one-box team.
So their faction rule. These guys have both more complicated rules than the Death Watch, but also way less going on.
Sure.
At the same time. Their faction rule is the OBELISK Node Matrix. So they're tokens. They didn't give us full miniatures, which I would have liked, personally.
Yeah.
But it's probably easier this way. As a strategic gambit in the first turning point, so this, like, you're always going to play your hand here. You take your 3 tokens, your 3 OBELISK node markers. We're just going to call those nodes from now on.
Yeah.
And you place them wholly within your territory, wherever they are. As a strategic gambit in every one turning point after that, you can move your node markers up to 3 inches each. So what do these node markers do? Well, if there's no enemies around them, they do control objectives.
Yeah.
You're not actually going to use them to control objectives because they literally don't contest objectives.
Right.
If there's another opponent contesting it, they just don't count at all. Like, it's not 1-to-1. They just don't count. What you're actually going to use these for is that basically this rule here, which is whenever one of your node markers is within 6 inches horizontally of another one of your node markers, those markers and the area between them, the width of which is the marker, create a node matrix above and below, which basically their height, they have infinite verticality.
Yeah.
So this works perfectly well in Tomb World. It also works perfectly well in Volcus, or for some reason, if you're playing Beta Decima, this works. After the last changes, I don't even know why you'd be playing Beta Decima.
No idea.
It got worse. So if you have 2 of them within 6 inches horizontally, the line between them, and it is a line that is the thickness of the markers, and it's like a 40 millimeter marker, is a matrix. If all 3 of them fulfill this, it creates a larger combined node matrix. So this means if you have 3 of them in a line, and we've got a picture here that describes it.
Yeah, I'll put it up on screen.
That line is the node matrix. If they're in a triangle, I'm not quite clear if the area within the triangle also counts.
I believe so.
I think it does, because they just wrote combined obelisk node matrix over that picture. So I think the optimal most area you can get is out of a 3-inch, basically an 18 cube triangle.
Yeah.
Now, what does that actually do? Well, everything. Everything in this faction is based on your guys being within that matrix.
Yes.
So either, whenever a friendly Canoptek Circle operative is within your node, defense node matrix, which is either sitting right by one of the nodes or within that little line, they get Accurate 2, which, remember what Accurate 2 does, Accurate allows you to set a dice before rolling it. You can just reserve a hit.
Yeah.
So you don't get to roll the dice and then change it. That's not what it is.
Yeah, you can't go fishing for crits or anything
correct.
like that. Yeah.
You have to change it. But Accurate 2 means you just get to take 2 of your dice and set them to hits.
Yeah.
And considering everyone in your team hits on a 4 except for your main gal, that's big.
That's pretty big, yeah.
And everyone gets +1 APL. That's really big.
Good, honestly.
Your guys have not great. Well, okay. 2 of your guys have absolutely terrifying weapons. Your little guys have okay melee and okay ranged.
Yeah.
Giving them more APL to make better use of both is good. Your big lady your Geomancer has 3 APL already, and she counts as this.
Yes.
So she can go up to 4 APL, which is terrifying. And that is only the beginning of the tip of the iceberg. Everything in this faction, all your stratagems, most of your equipment is based around being within this node matrix.
Yeah.
Your guys suck without this node matrix, and they're really good with it.
Yeah. Because can't they do some other actions with the node matrix too? Like you can open doors and stuff?
Yes. Well, not open doors. You can just block doors. You can
block doors?
Yeah, there's tons, and we'll get into that. First, let's talk about the actual guys you're dealing with, because that will contextualize the stratagems and the equipment at play.
Right.
And I guess let's start out with the main gal herself, the Geomancer. Coty, can you tell us about the Geomancer, who has an entire page in the book to herself?
Yeah, she has an entire page, which if you watched our Death Watch video, you could see how joyous I was when half of the guys didn't have any text under there. She's got a novel.
Well, tell you what, let's trade off this one then. Let's bounce between the paragraphs, you and I.
Sure.
To not make you read an entire page full of text.
I'll just go over her stats first, at least. It's the Geomancer. Again, she has 3 natural APL. She moves 6 inches. She's got a 3-up save and 14 wounds.
Yes.
Her weapons are the TREMORGLAIVE, which has 3 different profiles.
I was going to say, her only weapon is the TREMORGLAIVE, and it has 3 profiles.
It has 2 shooting profiles and 1 melee profile. The first one is the TREMORGLAIVE Part Matter. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 4 and 5 damage, piercing 1, and piercing crits 2.
So that is your orbital friendship cannon.
Yeah.
This kills the Marine. This kills most things. If you hit 4 of those attacks, that's between 16 to 20 damage with piercing 1. Crits have piercing 2.
Yeah, which is really kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, she's absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
It's only 4 attacks, which is not as much as some other things.
Sure. I mean, I guess you're probably not on average going to be rolling like 2 or 3 crits every turn, but that's...
If she spikes, she deletes things.
Yeah.
And as we'll talk about, you have the ability to use her to delete things.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, and then her Quake profile is 6 attacks. This is the other shooting one. It's 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, 1 and 3 damage, but it has Blast 2 inches, Seek Light, and Stun. So
Seek Light, remember that it just ignores light cover. Screw you, you don't get light cover.
Yep.
Blast 2 inches, obviously, that's good. That will have lethal 5 up in Tomb World.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And then stun is you hit somebody, you can remove their APL.
Yeah, which is pretty huge. Like especially on 2 APL teams, you're just basically like, again, if they're kind of clustered up, you're denying a whole group of dudes.
Yeah,
half their actions.
That's your crowd control one.
Yeah.
Not great on the damage, obviously.
Yeah, not great on the damage, but that's more of a I guess utility type shot. And then she has her melee profile, which is just a sweep with the TREMORGLAIVE, 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, 4 and 5 damage with severe, shock, and stun again.
So remind me what severe does.
If you don't retain any critical successes, you can retain 1 critical success.
Okay, so basically crit fix.
Yep.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, unless you miss everything, you're getting a crit in.
Which, now to be fair, she does have only 4 to hit.
Yeah.
But stun, again, remove APL, and shock, which is remove one of their hits.
Yeah. So,
pretty good.
Not bad.
All right, so she's got a bevy of rules.
Mm-hmm.
The first one of which is Obelisk node control. Whenever this operative would perform a mission action, if it requires this operative to control an objective marker, you can instead determine control from one of your Obelisk node markers. Whenever this operative would perform the operate hatch action, you can open or close a hatchway that access point is within 1 inch of your Obelisk node markers instead. And with all the other operatives. So basically, all of the obelisks, for the purpose of picking up things on mission objectives or opening doors, are within her control.
Mm-hmm.
So she can open any door. It still takes her APL just as normal.
Sure.
But you can put your obelisk on a mission, on a objective marker, and if it requires you to pick up an item, boop, she can pick it up.
Yeah.
What's really funny is that means if she picks up an item and it goes to the operative, it then teleports to her.
See, that's kind of crazy, actually.
Yes, it is. Because the objective, the obelisk node can't hold items.
Right.
So if it's a pickup mission action, and there are in them, we've not yet gotten, so we have not yet talked about the new data pack.
Right.
But there are missions in that data pack which require you to pick up objects from the objective markers, and then either like play keep away or bring them back to your zone or something like that.
Yeah, from what we know from the new ones, there's a lot of pickup involved in these missions again.
She can pick them up and they go to her.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy considering I thought it was really strong that some Deathwatch guys can pick stuff up for free and then just move away, but she picks it up for 1 APL and then it's, potentially 6 inches away.
Or 12 inches away.
More, I guess, yeah.
12, yeah, it could be up to 12.
Yeah.
Actually, it could be up to 18 because of a tactic we'll talk about later.
Oh, yikes.
Basically, a short version, we'll talk about it. There's a tactic where she can count as a node.
Okay.
So, and that, to be fair, that is incredibly Necron.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just picturing a hand going through the portal and just coming out by the node going, yoink, and then going back there and she just like puts it in her purse.
Yeah, you're running up to the objective to go grab it, and then suddenly it just turns into a bunch of green squares and disappears.
And it's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So that's her first one. But wait, there is more, because she also has 2 specific actions she can take.
Yeah, and then the first one is Molecular Breach. It is a support action. Select 1 friendly Canoptek Circle operative visible to and within 6 inches of this operative. Alternatively, you can select 1 friendly Canoptek Circle operative visible to this operative, and within your obelisk node matrix. Support does not apply this selection. I'm not sure what that means.
They changed that with the new stuff. Support has a keyword.
I see. But the next time the selected operative performs an action in which it moves, don't move it. Instead, remove it from the kill zone and set it back up wholly within a distance equal to its move stat, or 3 inches if it was a dash of its original location, measuring the horizontal distance only in a kill zone that uses close quarters rules, kill zone, Tomb World. In this distance, it can be measured over and through wall terrain, and the operative can be set up on the other side. Note that it gains no additional distance when performing the charge action. It must be set up in a location it can be placed, and unless it's the charge action, it cannot be set up within control range of an enemy operative. That is a mouthful.
Short version, she teleports operatives.
Yeah, she teleports operatives. This is like almost like, I was going to say with the markers and stuff like that, this is very Raveners, but I think this is like Raveners then some.
Yes. So here's the thing about it. It's either anybody within 6 inches or anybody who is on the matrix.
Yeah.
Not within 6 inches of the matrix. It has to be either within 6 inches of her or on the matrix.
Yeah.
That person then gets to make their move stat teleport, which is either 5 or 6 inches, depending on whether it's big boys or a small guy. Or sorry, 5 or 7 inches. The small guys have 7-inch movement. They can just teleport.
Yeah.
So it doesn't add any distance to them, but in Tomb World or Into the Dark, it just lets them teleport through walls. This lets you teleport through terrain.
Yeah.
It is horizontal distance, which means you can teleport up terrain.
Yeah.
So on Volcus, you can go boop, and charging doesn't give you that extra D3 like it does, or sorry, 2 inches, like it does in normal charge. But half the time, charging distance has problems when it has to go around obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
And this can just ignore that.
Yeah.
So this is a free teleport. So here's the problem with it. You do have to plan ahead, because it's an AP action she uses that doesn't trigger until the next time that operative that she uses it on actually goes.
Right, and then that also kind of gives your opponent the ability to kind of be like, oh, I know what he's doing.
You're telegraphing.
Yeah, I need to get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
You're telegraphing it, because she uses it, she nominates a person and goes, right, you're getting teleported.
Yeah.
They don't disappear until, or like, it's not like she pulls them into the other until it's like, okay, I'm going to teleport.
Yeah.
And then whenever it's their turn next, then they get to go.
Right.
Now, are there ways around that? Sure. If you're targeting a model that has already moved, like, and they can't do anything about it, sucks to be them.
Yeah.
Maybe you've out-activated your opponent, which is not super likely with this team, but it is against Deathwatch, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe not with their counteraction.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is obviously incredibly powerful, but incredibly telegraphed. Because going through walls is, first off, there's very, very, very little indoors that can do that.
Right. I guess it kind of reminds me of like the Corsairs. They have that blink strike through walls.
Yes, that's one of the only other things that can do that.
But I believe there's only one operative that can do that on that whole team, and this one is basically just whoever is within 6 inches of your Geomancer or within the node range.
Right. And it just takes up the target model, still has to spend an APL to move. So I guess the other downside of this is bad action economy.
Yeah. Because
you're spending an APL to give an effect to someone, so you are losing APL.
Yeah, true.
That, however, I mean, imagine, like we'll talk about it, imagine one of these guys, teleporting through a wall and then just unleashing the death laser. There's nothing in here that says she can't do it to herself.
No.
Which is, I cast teleport through wall. TREMORGLAIVE to the face.
Yeah, because it just says the next time the selected operative performs an action in which it moves.
The medic thing is the other example of this, and they specifically said the medic can't do it to themselves.
Yeah, because it doesn't say one other friendly operative either, and that's usually kind of the indicator. So,
this is incredibly powerful. Very telegraphed, but incredibly powerful. All right, next one that she's got is Canoptek Control. Select one friendly Canoptek Circle operative visible to and within 6 inches of operative, or it can be on the obelisk node. That selective operative can immediately perform a 1 AP action for free, but it can't do move more than 2 inches during that action. So, G, what would you like to do for free that doesn't require you to move? How about shoot?
Yeah, I think that's a good
So this
choice.
is double shoot on your tomb crawlers. Double shoot on your
well, do they have the ability to shoot twice though? Because even if it's a free action, they wouldn't be able to do it twice though, right?
But it's not during their activation; it's during hers.
Oh yeah, okay,
right, yeah,
you're right.
So yeah, you can use this, select someone, and have them shoot twice. Not during their own activation, because this is during hers.
But like, 'cause I remember first look at this, because the Higher-Tech Circle also has something like that where they can like shoot through the eyes of their dudes. They can shoot the big guys' guns. I don't remember exactly how it works, but this seems very akin to that, and I thought that was kind of going away. So that's wow.
No, this is picking someone, and because they don't have to have a ready marker.
Yeah, I guess they're shooting their own gun. I guess that's the difference.
They don't have to have a ready marker. It doesn't use their ready marker if they have one.
Right.
By the way, both of these, this one and the previous one, cannot be done while you're within control range of an enemy operative. So that is the one big downside. She can't do this while she's dealing with somebody else.
Sure. And then the last one is Geomantic Disturbance. Select a point on a terrain feature. That point must be visible to and within 8 inches of this operative. Separately roll 2d6 for each operative within 2 inches of that point. If the result is higher than that operative's remaining wounds, inflict damage on it equal to the difference. This operative cannot perform this action while it has the conceal order or while it's within control range of an enemy operative.
So AoE chip damage at 8 inches?
Yeah, or just like finish off type moves.
Yeah, 2d6, because it's remaining wounds, right? It's not wounds characteristic.
Yeah, it's remaining wounds.
So yeah, this is gonna only work on people who already don't have a lot of the weakest operatives in this game tend to have like 7 wounds.
Yeah, because like even if it's like a full guardsman at I think 7 or 8 wounds, even if you roll a 12, that's still only like 5 damage off.
Well, on a guardsman, that's a lot of damage.
I mean, that's
But
I'm not saying that's not a lot of
thinking
damage, but it's not like a point and delete.
Your chances of rolling an 8 or higher on a 2d6 are below 50%.
Yeah.
So you're going to use this on either weak things.
Mhm.
Now the nice thing is that like, but it has to be in line of sight. So
Well, just the terrain feature does.
yeah, right.
Or the point on the terrain feature.
Right. So this isn't great, but it has its uses.
Yeah.
And you also can't do it while you're concealed, so that prevents it being too annoying.
Yeah.
So overall, she's your leader, and she's really good.
Yeah.
But 14 wounds is not like, I mean, she has fewer wounds than a lot of the Deathwatch Marines.
Oh yeah, for sure. And a 3-up save like they do. And nothing. I mean, I guess we'll get into their defensive.
She does
stuff
have
later.
one defensive card they do not have, which is
Yeah.
Get Down, Mr. President.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's talk about your big beefy boys.
Yeah, your chonky big little scarabs.
So your technically they are called the
Canoptek Tomb Crawlers.
Canoptek Tomb Crawlers. So only 2 APL default.
Mm-hmm.
Not great. 5-inch movement, so they're a little slow. 3-up save and 21 wounds.
21 wounds.
21 wounds on a 3-up save, baby.
That is a Ravener leader, I think.
Yeah, I mean it might take like 2 actions for a Deathwatch to kill them.
Well.
So what do you get with that? Well, you have an option between 2 different guns on these guys. They both have claws, which is all their attacks are on force, by the way. So none of them hit great.
Yeah.
You're going to really want accurate on these guys, which is where it comes from. They all have full up to hit. Their claws are 4s and 4s, nothing special. I mean, 4 and 4, which is cool, I guess. You don't have to rely on crits.
Yeah.
You can either have the Transdimensional Isolator or the Twin Gauss Reapers. You can only pick one of them. You can only have one guy on your team with Transdimensional Isolator.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the Transdimensional Isolator has 5 attacks, hits on force, has 5 and 6 damage, already good, and has the keyword Dimensional Banishment. After this operative uses this weapon, if you inflicted damage or retained any critical successes, if the target wasn't incapacitated, roll 2d6. If the result is higher than the target's remaining wounds, the target is incapacitated. Delete. So you're already doing 5-6 damage with 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Now you're only hitting on 4s. But if you get even 1 attack through on, let's say, a 14 wound Space Marine, and it takes him down to 9 health, if you roll higher than a 9, he just disappears, regardless of any other rules.
That's pretty crazy.
The only people in the game who can ignore this are the Felgor.
That's true. Yeah.
This does go around the corn thing, though.
Does it go around?
Because
yeah,
that thing only says they can only take 8 wounds.
I guess that's true because this isn't technically
Okay, fine. You hit them with 8 wounds. That's fine. It doesn't say they can't die.
That's true.
It just says 8 wounds. And okay, fine. You hit them with 30 damage. They take 8 of it, and then you roll higher than a 2 on the 2d6. Delete.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it should be mentioned that this could be used with the Geomancer's ability to give somebody a free shoot.
Exactly.
So you're getting 2 shots a turn off on this potentially.
Yes. And this is what you will shoot with twice a turn.
Yes.
If you hit a guardsman and the 4-up to hit is bad. Like 4-up to hit is not great because it's a 50% chance. But you only have to hit with one of these, and anything that's less than 10 wounds is immediately incredibly threatened.
Yeah.
Because if you take someone down to 5 health, remember on a 2d6, statistically you're going to roll 7 or higher. Usually you're going to roll at least a 7.
Yeah.
And like that's anything with below 7 wounds is going to just get deleted from the game, removed, gone, dead. I've seen people on the internet refer to this as banishing them to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Which is my reminder that in the term banishing to the Shadow Realm from the Yu-Gi-Oh series was only an invention for the American series. In Japan, every time you hear that, it means they just died. And that's what this is.
Yeah.
Just, remove player enemy.
Yeah.
Remove target enemy. Their other gun, though, is not too shabby. It's the Twin Gauss Reapers. You have 2 profiles, focused or sweeping. The focused is 5 attacks, hits on 4s, 4 and 5 damage, piercing 1, and severe. Remember, you retain any. If you retain no critical successes, you can set 1 to a critical success.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do sweeping, which is only 4 attacks, but still 4 and 5 damage, piercing 1, severe, and torrent.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's situational. If there is, again, a couple of guys right next to each other, you're obviously probably going to want to choose sweeping because you're getting 1 less shot. But
for the same damage,
you're still getting 8
the
shots
same
versus
keywords.
5.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you wouldn't use sweeping unless there's only one guy you're shooting at.
Right. Now, the downsides. He has 2 keywords. Number 1 is Weapon Sentinel. Whenever your opponent is selecting a valid target, if this opponent has a concealed order, it cannot use light terrain for cover. While this can allow your opponent to be targeted, it doesn't remove its cover save. So you can't hide behind, because normally if you have a concealed order and you're behind light terrain, people can't see you and shoot you unless they have vantage point.
Right.
This guy can't hide behind light terrain. He can't just kind of go eep.
Yeah. So this guy can't do it.
Right.
So
you still get your cover save.
Yeah, you're basically, it's treating like everybody has vantage on you.
Kind of, yeah. You can still be shot.
Sure.
The other one is Steadfast, which is whenever you're determining control of a marker, you can treat this operative's APL stat as 3. If you do, this takes precedent over all other rules, meaning any changes to its APL stat are ignored for this. So these guys always count on 3 objectives. Now, keep in mind, if you're on a node or within your matrix, you get +1 APL. Yeah, so these guys, obviously, these are your tanks. These are also your main damage source.
Yeah, so basically you're going to park them on objectives anyway.
But you really want them to be on that node. Because, keep in mind, the nodes give you accurate 2.
True.
So
yeah,
now,
I forgot about that already.
Now, you've got that dimensional isolator. You're on your node. You have 2 automatic hits.
Oh, jeez.
And you're only rolling 3 dice hitting on 4s.
2 automatic hits. It's already 5 damage through without saves, obviously.
No, 2 automatic hits is 10 damage through.
Well, yeah, 5 each, sorry.
5 each, yeah. 10 damage through. Now, if they're a Marine and they got 3 up save, you do have to either do damage or retain a critical success.
Yeah, but then you're still rolling 3 dice, and on average, you're getting 1.5 of those anyway. So you're getting 3 or 4 hits off the bat. That you only get 3 saves.
Right.
So 1's going through, and then you have that potential dimensional banishment going on. That's pretty nasty, honestly.
The thing is, it's really nasty, but I don't know if it's an auto take over the Twin Isolator because you don't have any piercing on it.
You mean over the Gauss Reaper?
Over the Gauss Reaper, because you don't have any piercing on it. Yes, you can maybe retain 2 saves, but if you're not, or 2 hits, if you're not retaining those though, there's a pretty good chance that a Marine is just going to save against all of it.
Yeah, but again, if you don't have accurate 2,
yeah,
plus again on average 1 to 2 more shots through, that's almost like having piercing because they can't save that last one.
All that applies to the Twin Gauss Reapers as well.
No. Oh, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you can
the accurate 2 part with piercing 1.
You can also use accurate 2 and piercing and severe.
Yeah.
So
I think it's an auto take against elites. But the Gauss Reapers, yeah, that's nothing to shake your head at with accurate 2, piercing 1, severe. That's going to kill a guardsman per shot.
Right.
Or per round of shooting.
I'm just saying, I think these are both really good options.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think there is a universe in which you take 2 Twin Gauss Reapers.
It's true. Because the Isolator is the only one you can have 1 of, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have 2 Twin Gauss Reapers. You cannot have 2 Isolators.
Yeah, I guess against non-elite teams, I could see 2 Twin Gauss Reapers.
Either way, very good weapon selections.
Yeah.
These are your big heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm. They're going to stand on objectives. They're going to take a lot of shots and delete a lot of people.
But you also have your little guys, which is your warriors.
We have the Canoptek Macrocyte Warriors. They have 2 APL, 7-inch movement, 4 up save, and 7 wounds. They have the option to take either the Gauss Scalpel or the Tesla Caster. The Gauss Scalpel is 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, 3 and 4 damage, piercing 1. The Tesla Caster has two profiles. We've got the focus one first at 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, 2 and 3 damage. And then the Living Lightning profile, that's a cool name, for 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, 2 and 3 damage, blast 2.
Yeah, the two, I wonder if this is a typo. Because the 2 Tesla Casters, usually you get 1 less attack for the blast version, as we saw with the Tomb Crawlers. Not here. They both have exactly the same stats, but one has blast and the other doesn't.
Just noticing that, yeah.
There are situations in which you don't want to use blast. So maybe that's what it is?
I mean,
or
I guess
maybe
there's
it's a typo.
There's just situations where you wouldn't need to use blast.
Yeah, but otherwise, literally, there is no downside to using the blast version.
Yeah, that's strange. And then they have their Claws and Tail with 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, 3 and 4 damage. Nothing special with those. And then we have the Expandable Construct. This operative is ignored for your opponent's kill and elimination op. It's also ignored for victory conditions that require operatives to escape, survive, or be incapacitated. So it just doesn't count towards a kill op?
Yep. This is an 8-person kill team that only has 5 people that actually count for anything your opponent wants them to count for.
Yeah, usually when you do that, it's like tiny and insignificant guys.
Not these guys.
Like a cherub or a squig or something like that.
No.
These are like full-on warriors.
Yeah, and they're not great in attacks, but that thing is 3 and 4 damage, piercing 1 at Gauss Scalpel.
Yeah.
Or you take the blast version, and
that's a las gun.
Those that's better than a las gun. That's a bolter. 3-4 damage is a bolter. Tesla Caster is a las gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Claws and Tail, 4 attacks, hitting on 4s with 3s and 4s will, that's not the worst.
Not terrible.
But yeah, basically these guys don't ever give your opponents anything fun for killing them.
That's so...
At least not score-wise.
Well, yeah, at least not score-wise.
But they still count for taking objectives.
So normally in that situation, you just ignore whatever it is, but that you can't really ignore them because they're
right. Now, they also don't count for you because there are things that require your guys to, like, escape. This doesn't count.
True.
Or survival. These don't count.
Yeah.
So, that's not all sunshine and roses. But yeah, we have, I think, the best expendable warrior
yeah, for sure.
in the game.
Yeah. And then their next one is Ceaseless Scuttling. As a strategic gamut in each turning point after the first, if you have less than 3 non-incapacitated friendly Canoptek Circle Warrior operatives, you can set up another one ready, and with a conceal order wholly within your drop zone, you can select its weapons options as normal.
Yeah. So
that kind of balances it out a little bit, I guess.
Well, kind of. You just get to bring one back.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a benefit for you, but like for those escape missions and stuff like that, you can't just bring them back and then be like, oh yeah, I got this extra point.
No, they don't count. You can't run them off the board for those missions and then bring one back.
And then I guess that would also be silly if like you just kept bringing them back and you just kept one shot deleting them, and then it's like, oh, my kill op is like 37.
Right. You also can only bring back 1 a turn.
Yeah.
So if you lose 2, you can't. Losing 2 more than 1 a turn is a non-sustainable.
Yeah.
Non-sustainable economy there.
It's that Necron coming back to life thing. There's definitely less of it in Canoptek Circle than there is in Higher Tech Circle, but it's still there. It's still the Necron thing.
So your goal with these guys is to... Oh, and they have one more role, too.
Yeah. And then the last role is Aggressive Defense. If this operative is incapacitated by an enemy operative within 2 inches of it, roll 1d3 on a 2-up, inflict damage on that enemy operative equal to the result. So it mini explode.
Yeah, so 2 and 3 damage. So really, you want these guys to get into melee.
Mm-hmm.
You want to run them forward. You want your opponent to shoot at these guys rather than shooting at your Tomb Crawlers or your Geomancer, especially, or your 2 support guys. You want to run them forward. You want them to get shot instead of these. You want to lose 1 a turn, but hey, if what happens, happens. That's fine.
Right.
And then they bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep doing that. That is your play with these guys.
Yeah. Not bad.
Not bad at all. But bringing them back, next up is the Macrocyte Reanimator. Same stat line, 2 APL, 7-inch movement, 4-up save, 7 wounds. By the way, keep in mind, if you're on the Matrix, all these guys have 3 APL and accurate 2.
If you're in the geometry.
Yep. If you're taking geometry class. Your Reanimator has an atomizer beam, which is not great. It's basically a pistol. Hits on 4s, has 4 attacks, 3 and 4 damage, range 6 inches, lethal 5 up. And it's got the same claws and tail, but that's not why you have this guy. You have this guy for his 2 rules. He's got NANOSCARAB beam and a rule called Reanimate. Now, NANOSCARAB beam is an ability, takes an AP. It's a 1 AP action. You select one friendly Canoptek Circle operative visible to and within 6 inches of this operative, or if this operative is within the matrix, you can select someone else within the matrix. Okay. That operative regains up to 3d3 lost wounds. 3d3 lost wounds. So between 3 and 9 lost wounds on your 21 wound Canoptek Scarabs.
Jeez.
But they have to be within the matrix, or it doesn't work. You can't do it on someone that you've reanimated this turn. And what is Reanimate? Well, that's his actual ability. This is not an APL, or an AP ability. This is just a thing they have. Once per turning point, when another friendly Canoptek Circle operative would be incapacitated, if that operative is either 6 inches invisible, or if this operative and that operative are on the matrix, and neither are within control range of an enemy operative, so this doesn't work against melee, you can have that friendly operative not be incapacitated. It's the medic thing. They get up, they have 1 wound remaining. They cannot be incapacitated for the remainder of that action.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get shot by something, they can get up and the rest of the shots don't kill them.
Wow.
That friendly operative can then immediately perform a free dash action. If this rule was used during that friendly operative's activation, their activation immediately ends. But this can also be used during your opponent's activation as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use this rule if this operative is incapacitated, or if it's a shoot action, and this operative would be a primary or secondary target. So this guy cannot use it on himself.
Right.
Which is very normal for medic rule.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So you basically, once per turning point, think of this, say either one guy within 6 inches, or more likely, one guy on the matrix gets to not die and gets a free dash.
Mm-hmm.
You can't heal someone in the same action that you reanimated them on. You can't heal someone in the same turning point that you reanimated them on.
Right.
So keep that in mind. You can't heal someone. But basically, if this guy is on your matrix, someone else on your matrix gets to not die.
Yeah, it's basically medic with a bit more extended range.
With possibly more range.
Yeah. Not bad.
They also don't have to end their dash action closer to this medic.
Oh, yeah, that's
which is
true.
the thing that medic normally has to. You have to move closer to the medic. This case, you don't have to.
Right.
You can dash behind cover.
Solid, honestly.
And last but not least, your Macrocyte Accelerator, who has, again, a really crappy gun. It's even worse, actually. 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, 2 and 3 damage, range 4 inch, but piercing 1. Same stat line, 2 APL, 7 wounds, 4 up save, 7 inch movement. Pretty bad. Claws and he does have claws and spark, which is a slightly better melee weapon. It's only 3 attacks.
Just has 3 attacks, yeah.
Hits on 4s, 3 and 4 damage, lethal 5 up, and stun.
Yeah, it's basically a Votan plasma knife with stun.
You don't want this guy in melee though, because he has 2 abilities: Cranial Overload and Overcharge. So Cranial Overload is a 1 AP action. Select 1 enemy operative visible to and within 3 inches of this operative, or if you're on the matrix, you can select 1 enemy operative within the matrix as well. So you can punish your opponent for being on the matrix.
Yeah.
Until the end of that enemy operative's next activation, subtract 1 from APL. So you can just minus 1 APL people.
Yeah.
Can't do it to someone in melee.
Right.
Or you can overcharge, which is another 1 AP action. Select 1 friendly Canoptek Circle operative visible to and within 3 inches, or if you're both on the matrix, you can select someone on the matrix. Until the end of that operative's next activation, add 1 to its APL. Now, keep in mind that adding 1 to APL doesn't stack. You can never add more than 1 APL.
Right.
So you can't use this with your opponent. Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but you can't add plus 2 APL to someone, right?
I don't believe so. It's kind of like if you have 2 ways to add 1 APL, if there's a negative APL on them.
Right.
But I don't believe it can go any more over than 1.
Right.
Correct us if we're wrong, but I'm pretty sure
that's
how
a little
it works.
weird, because if someone's already on the matrix, then they're already getting plus 1 APL. So
That's
giving
true.
them another doesn't do a lot, but it can undo negatives.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's just someone within 3 inches of you who's maybe not on the matrix, you can give them an APL that way.
Yeah, that's probably what that's for.
Honestly, if I didn't have to take this guy, I probably wouldn't.
There's your option to build him as a warrior.
But you can't take another warrior.
Oh, that's true.
You have to take this guy.
Yeah.
He is on the team.
It's true.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that APL thing. That's the that was my reading of the rules, but I could be wrong. If you can, that makes it really hilarious to give. I mean, your Canoptek Warriors 4 APL.
Yeah, that
but
would
what
be
would
funny.
you even do with that?
And then just like I don't know, maybe just for objective control.
Objective control, and it can undo negatives.
Yeah, and it can undo negatives, and then it's also like he also has the overload part, which is a negative to the team. So anybody basically, like you said, if they come into your little matrix area and they're setting up for a charge or something like that, boom, -1 APL. If they charge you, they can't fight you.
Right.
If you're not in their control range, they can't fight you. Yeah. So, I mean, he still has his uses, whether the APL stacks or not.
He is useful. He is my least favorite, honestly. But
yeah, I think he's definitely got the least amount going for him. But I could see uses.
All right. So next up, the strat. So now that you've got all that in mind, your guys are okay.
Mm-hmm.
All of your strategy ploys, which, by the way, 2 of the things are strategic gambits you're going to be doing every turn anyway.
Yeah.
One of them is you're going to be moving someone. You're going to be putting out your obelisk nodes turn 1. Don't forget that.
Yes.
I'm fairly certain that is one that the Inquisition can't just shut down, because it has to cost a command point.
Oh, yeah.
For them to do that, I think. Otherwise, this is really funny.
That would be fun.
Yeah, the thing you want to do, you just can't do it.
No. You're the rule your entire team is based on?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it does sound like the Inquisition, but... Alright, so your strategy ploys. First one.
We've got hyper shielding. Whenever an operative is shooting at a friendly Canoptek Circle operative, if your obelisk node matrix is intervening or that friendly operative is within the node matrix, you can reroll any of your defense dice results of 1 result.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah.
Reroll 1 result is okay for defense dice.
That's where the defensive we were talking about earlier is coming in.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Next one is transdynamic amplification. Whenever a friendly Canoptek Circle operative is shooting, if your obelisk node matrix is intervening or your target is within your node matrix, friendly operatives' weapons have the ceaseless weapon rule. Free rerolls.
That one's good.
So, but it's the node has to be in between you, which is funny. So you have to position yourself, because they either have to be in the matrix, which is pretty easy for them not to do.
Sure.
But there's shenanigans for changing that. Or if you position it so you're shooting across the matrix, the node matrix.
And I think that's going to be the easiest part, is setting it up like that.
Right. If you're shooting across the matrix, your bullets get faster, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the same on hyper shielding. It's just their shots get slower.
Right. Like, so this matrix is like a,
yeah,
a green wall.
Mm-hmm. So I think that one's kind of easy to set up, or at least both of these are pretty easy to set up.
Yep.
But anyway, the next one is cryptogravatic. Am I saying that right?
Cryptogravatic.
Cryptogravatic repulsion. Once per action, the first time an enemy operative would move within your obelisk node matrix, the distance is treated as an additional 1 inch. Note, this means that if an enemy operative doesn't have sufficient move distance, that operative cannot move within your node matrix.
So
basically you have to pre-measure your movement.
You know how there's barbed wire you can put up that reduces, basically doubles their movement?
Yeah.
That's what this is. This turns your entire node matrix into barbed wire.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, you wanted to charge me? Double movement.
Yeah.
Well, not double movement. The movement distance is treated as an additional 1 inch.
Just 1 inch. But
it just adds an inch.
But basically, if you get in there and you only have 1 inch of movement as you're stepping on it, nope, that's just where your movement ends.
-1 inch to all movement that crosses your matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
And then Soul Drain. Whenever an enemy operative is within your obelisk node matrix, or whenever it's fighting or retaliating against a friendly operative that's within your node matrix, subtract 1 from both damage stats of that operative's melee weapons to a minimum 2 until the end of the activation or counter action. If the enemy moves through the matrix, apply this change at the end of that move action until the end of the action or activation or counter action. So, -1 damage to melee weapon damage. This one is the most situational.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's like your opponent is going to charge you or is fighting you and you're within your matrix. Or they're moving across your matrix. And it's only -1 damage on the melee, which is not fantastic.
It's not crazy, but it could help you survive for sure.
It's okay. Obviously, though, you're going to be using transdynamic amplification and hyper shielding often.
Yeah.
But maybe not every turn, depending on the terrain.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I guess, if you build that green wall and then they pass that green wall already, you're obviously not going to use it then. But,
right.
I think they're all still pretty solid, though.
So, Firefight Ploys. There was a firefight.
All right, the first one we got is Animate Obelisk Nodes. Use this Firefight Ploy when it is your turn to activate or counteract. Move any number of your Obelisk node markers instead. They can move up to 6 inches combined, and distances are always rounded up to the nearest inch. So if you move a marker 1.5 inches, it's counted as moving 2 inches. For example, you could move one marker 6 inches, 3 inches, 3 markers 1 inch, or any combination that doesn't exceed 6 inches. So basically, your nodes get total 6-inch movement.
So this is good for 2 things. Number 1, changing where that field is to react to the changing battlefield.
Yep.
You can remember you get to move each of these 3 inches at the start of each one of your turns, but this you can do at mid-turn. This is also great activation delay because this takes the place of an activation.
Right.
So if you're worrying about getting out activated, you can change that.
Not bad.
Not bad. Pretty good. It's going to be a staple. Because this can, like, somebody moves onto into a place. You could then move the matrix onto them, or move the matrix onto your guy, who maybe got moved out of position, or who didn't get into your matrix, and then next turn they get to shoot or something like that.
Yeah, or they have some kind of crazy movement shenanigan where suddenly they have a flank on you where you're not protected by your obelisk. Well, now you are.
Yeah,
potentially.
Next one, Shield Flare. Uses Firefight Ploy when an attack dice inflicts normal damage. If your node matrix is intervening or you're within the node matrix, ignore the damage. Note that your opponent determines intervening. So your opponent gets to pick if intervening counts. So if you're just kind of like if you're like on the edge and your opponent can shoot at you without it being intervening and you're not on it, they get to pick that. I like that. So it kind of cuts the shenanigans down. But this is basically just ignore an instance of normal damage.
Yeah.
Always good. It can save, you can save 5 or 6 damage sometimes.
Yep. Then the next one is Nodal Response.
Sounds wrong.
Nodal Response. Anyway, use this Firefight Ploy during friendly Canoptek Circle operative's activation before or after it performs an action. You can either change one of the strategy ploys you use during this turning point, only pay an additional CP if that ploy costs more, or use a strategy ploy now. So pay its CP cost as normal.
So you can spend a CP to either emergency activate another ploy, which will cost you another command point, or change it to another ploy
for free, unless it's one additional. It costs more. Yeah.
So you could activate the getting shot, the anti-shooting one, and then change it to the shooting one if you needed to. But it will cost you.
Yeah.
I don't like this one just because you're probably going to be command point hungry, like you are in most teams.
Yeah. There's not really a way to generate command points on them either. So
not on these guys, no.
So you're going to want to go second a lot so you get extra command points.
And then the last one is Get Down Mr. President, aka Sacrificial Thrall. Uses Firefight Ploy when a friendly Geomancer is selected as the valid target of a shoot action or to fight against during the fight action. Select one other friendly Canoptek operative, so it can be your Scarabs, visible to and within 3 inches of the Geomancer, to become the valid target or to be fought against as appropriate instead, even if it wouldn't normally be valid for this. If it's the fight action, treat that other operative as being within the fighting operative's control range for the duration of that action. If it's the shoot action, the other operative is the only in cover or obscured if the original target was. So, this is not transferring off damage, it's transferring off the entire attack.
Yeah.
So, Deathwatch Man rocks up with that two-handed Thunderhammer, and even if the little guy you're passing off to isn't normally in range, you can suddenly just, do like Peach with Toad in Super Smash Brothers and hold him in front, and he takes that entire hammer attack.
That's hilarious.
The ploy has no effect if it's the shoot action and the ranged weapon has the blast or torrent weapon rule. So, can't use it on blast or torrent. But yeah, you can use this to basically pass off entire attack actions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind that if it's a Marine who gets to shoot or fight twice, that second one, they can still do this.
Yeah.
And you can't use the same strategy or Firefight Ploy more than once in a turning point, so you can't do it twice.
Right.
But hey, it could still save your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this one does not work across the entire matrix. This one has to be within 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, you don't get to pull a bodyguard from anywhere, which I think you should, personally.
I honestly think you should,
I think you should be able to, like, skeleton hand and bring a guy in.
If you can pick up an objective from 18 inches away, potentially, you should be able to pick up a little warrior and just...
Yeah, just... whoop!
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to want to save. You're going to want to save your command points for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to use your Geomancer offensively because she's really good.
Yeah.
But you also want to keep her alive, and she's not that durable with only 14 wounds.
Right.
All right, so none of these are standout, but let's end with the equipment options.
Yep. All right, the first in the faction equipment we've got is the Matrix Manipulator. Once per battle, during a friendly Canoptek Circle operative's activation or counteraction, you can use this rule. If you do until the end of the activation or counteraction, a friendly Canoptek Circle Geomancer operative is treated as your 4th obelisk node marker. You did mention that one earlier.
Right. You're going to want to activate, because when she's treated as a marker, that means she's on the matrix. So she's immediately becomes on the matrix if she wasn't already, which you're only going to use this when she wasn't already.
Right.
Anybody intervening, you could suddenly change your matrix into a square instead of a triangle, and everybody inside is on the matrix.
Yeah.
Can be incredibly powerful, which is why it's only once per turning point, or once per game, sorry.
Yeah, once per battle.
Once per battle. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think you save this to steal an objective and get a ton of movement on it.
Yep.
Immediately get it away from your opponent. Yeah.
The best thing about this is you can use this on an activation that is not her activation.
Yeah.
So you can, this is sneaky, and it's not super powerful, but it's very situational and very good.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to take this. Next one is Awakened Obelisk Nodes. After revealing this equipment option, roll 1d3. You can use the anime Obelisk Node's Firefight Ploy for a 0 CP a number of times during the battle equal to the result. Auto take. Even if you only roll a 1, getting to use that Firefight Ploy for free without spending any CP once per and move your stuff more, perfect.
Yep.
Auto take.
Not bad at all.
You're gonna remember your nodes only start within your territory, and even if you're playing security, you're gonna need to play the main objective, and that means moving up.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to move your nodes up, and yeah, you get 3 inches at the start of every turn, but getting 2 more inches each during for free can make or break the game.
Mm-hmm.
It also would let you sneakily move on to an objective that your opponent isn't controlling, and then you get to control it.
Yeah. And then we've got the next one. We've got the NANOSCARAB Caskets. Whenever a friendly Canoptek Circle operative is activated, it regains D3 lost wounds. So there's more of that just standard Necron stuff. D3 lost wounds across the entire team.
Completely mandatory.
Which wasn't... I can't remember what Death Watches were, but it's worse than Death Watches, but still really good.
Death Watches was the same, but you also got to remove effects.
That's true. Yeah, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
So D3 lost wounds, whenever you activate, that's an auto take as well.
And if anyone's going to be like, oh, you said that was OP for Death Watch, it's Necrons. It's supposed to be on them.
Yeah. This is...
They also don't have
team.
everything else that Death Watch had going on. It also doesn't just ignore effects.
Yeah, true.
All right, and last one is the Phase Shifter. Once per turning point, when an operative is shooting a friendly Geomancer, so whenever you're shooting your Geomancer, at the start of the roll defense dice step, you can use this rule. Worse than the piercing by 1. So, maybe you wouldn't take this one if your opponent's team didn't have much piercing in shooting.
Yeah.
But, so if your opponent doesn't have a lot of that, you can safely leave this at home and take something else. Keep in mind, the scouting step is gone, so you're only getting 4 pieces of equipment instead of 5 nowadays.
Yeah, and these guys don't have any way of getting an extra one.
Right. So this is the one that you would be most easily left at home if your opponent doesn't have any. But if your opponent does have some, this is once per turning point. Might as well use it.
Yeah, most teams are going to have at least one
usually
plasma gun or something equivalent to it. So I'd say you're probably going to take this most of the time. But yeah, they're definitely going to be a situations where you're not going to.
There's things like Felgors and Goremongers where,
True.
you know,
Yeah.
and you get to pick your equipment after seeing your opponent's team.
Yeah.
So you can, you know, maybe they only brought, they didn't bring any plasma guns. Maybe
Yeah,
they didn't bring any piercing guns.
if they opted out for that, or it's one of those teams that just doesn't have it, or they went with very close,
or they went with Melta, and it's not going to matter.
Yeah, true.
And you really need ladders or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's the team. Now, removing Deathwatch from our minds,
Mm-hmm.
how are they?
I'd say they're pretty good.
I think they're going to be weird to play.
Yeah,
because I think off their matrix, they're not great.
Yeah, and that's my thing with them, is because I've played a couple games with Raveners now, and off their tunnels they're pretty good. They're still very high wound. They have really good defensives and stuff like that, but you can really feel when you're not near the tunnel with Raveners, and I feel like that's going to be the case with these guys. But that being said, I think they're going to just have a high skill floor and really high skill ceiling, because if you can, if you're already really good at movement and you just know exactly what to do with all of your obelisks and when to use your equipment and strategies to move them extra and when to move them into that and stuff, I feel like these guys can be really crazy with some shenanigans.
You're gonna be you have the ability to delete 1 or 2 models per turn.
Yeah,
you
that
can
too.
Teleport through things that almost no one else can teleport. You can shoot twice. You
Yeah.
have some really big scary guns. You have a lot of ability to control the battlefield and stop your guys from dying.
Mm-hmm.
You have disposable mooks,
Yeah.
which is always great. Unlike the tunnels, you get to move these buff pieces.
Yeah.
You can. This is movement based. This is buff piece based gameplay where you get to move the buff pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and you have shenanigans to move the buff pieces.
Yeah.
And I like that.
For sure.
We make a lot of joke about geometry. This isn't actually that much geometry in there.
No, not really.
It's really like make a triangle when you can, or extend it out across the battlefield.
Yeah.
You do need to know. You need to know where you want to go.
Yeah.
But security and recon both play into that already.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like seek and destroy, where seek and destroy is where do I want to go? I don't know, wherever my opponent's putting their dudes. Because I
Right.
need to murder the heck out of those guys.
Yeah.
With recon, it's like you need to go here. You need to go here. With security, it's like you need to keep your dudes out. So both of those play into that. I like this team a lot.
Yeah.
I have to play them to figure out if I really love them, because they might break my brain.
Yeah. I guess my biggest thing is if you're not good at movement, maybe wait until you get a little more practice in with movement before you dive into this team, or maybe use this as a sink or swim type scenario for that kind of learning. I am not great with movement in war games, and I will fully admit that, so that's why this team is not necessarily for me, but I do definitely see some potential with people who kind of already have that really kind of locked in their gameplay.
I think in general these guys are going to do well into elites. They're kind of an anti-elite team.
Yeah.
Because they're less elite than those teams, but the mooks don't count against them. Right. Which is huge. Okay, Deathwatch, man, go ahead and murder 2 Canoptek warriors per turn. What do you flip and do?
Sure.
I've got, there are always more besides.
Bunch of little just distraction dudes.
But their weapons can absolutely turbo delete even the most elite of guys. One Canoptek Scarab shooting at another is probably going to kill that Scarab.
Yeah.
With accurate 2, you're doing 10 damage. If you don't super flub the other 3 rolls, you can really easily kill some really big stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike other elite teams, you have a fairly nice ability to have your guys not die and heal pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these guys will counter elites. I think they'll struggle into hordes. You are deleting 1, or 2 guardsmen per turn, but no one cares.
Yeah, I mean, there's very little there's a couple blasts and a couple torrents and stuff like that, and they don't have a lot of extra shooting shenanigans other than the Geomancer gets to shoot the Canoptek Tomb Crawler. Well, I mean, gets to shoot whatever, but you're probably going to pick the Tomb Crawler, let's be real, and that's more of an anti-elite guy.
Yeah.
The torrent 1 inch, it's torrent 1 inch.
Yeah.
You can delete 2 little guys then.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if they have more little guys than you do to tie up your little guys, and complete objectives.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they don't have to deal with your matrix, or they can play around your matrix by sheer activations. I think you'll struggle, but I think they're going to be playable into them.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to see. This is one where I really got to see these guys played out more. And we're only just now having people get wider access to them,
right?
Content creators, obviously, as we're only releasing this now because we just got the box.
Yeah,
we're not cool enough for GW.
Not yet. We're getting there. We're getting there. That's why we need to do our YouTube pleasantries of like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, so Josh can get his Necrons earlier.
Yeah, please.
But I think this is a fun team to play. They probably won't be meta breaking, but I think they'll survive.
Yeah, I think they're going to be middle to high of the pack.
And they're certainly one of the cooler teams I've seen gameplay wise. I like that they're doing weird things.
Yeah, I like that they're getting out of the, like, in second edition, because we're in third now, right?
Sure.
Whatever the last edition was.
I mean, we're in second edition of Kill Team 2021.
Yeah.
Third edition since 2018 or 2017.
Yeah.
Fourth edition since 2000.
But last edition, we've seen a lot of teams that were kind of very cookie cutter. They were like, they're this team, but aliens. They're this team, but chaos. Like,
they're pushing the boat out.
Yeah, there was so many, like, basically veteran guardsman equivalent teams. Like your Khazarkin were basically veteran guardsmen with a couple different abilities, but their gun profiles were all the same.
Yeah,
these ones, like, it looks really weird and kind of daunting when you see, like, oh yeah, set it up in a triangle or a zigzag or do this, and then, like, with the Raveners having their tunnel systems going through. Like, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's at least fun, and it brings a little more to just like, oh, I'm going to bring my Plasma and my Melta versus bringing my Flamer and whatever.
If you want that, play Deathwatch.
If you want that, play Deathwatch.
Which is fine. There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And I do think, like, do I think Deathwatch still have a problem with the healing? Yes. I don't like how much they heal. That was really my only problem with Deathwatch. And I think these guys are better into Deathwatch than people are giving them credit for.
Yeah.
I think these guys are going to give Deathwatch a real run for their money. Yes, the Deathwatch have better raw stats, better health on everyone except the Scarabs. But if you screw up one of those Deathwatch, you're going to lose a Marine, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, like we mentioned in that video, losing one Marine is detrimental, and with your Geomancer paired with a transdimensional isolator, you could potentially lose a Marine a turn.
Right, and then you're not on the winning foot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, overall, 5 out of 5 stars. Would recommend, maybe. I don't know. Still need to play them.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where these guys go.
Absolutely, same.
Alrighty. Well, that's it for this review of our Necrons. Thanks for sticking with us to the end if you did. Let us know below if, first off, if we're right on that APL thing.
Yeah, true.
Can you buff? I'm pretty sure you can't increase or decrease APL by more than 1.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Reduce someone to 0 APL.
Yeah.
And you can't make someone 10.
Yeah.
Which would be funny, but...
It's how the rule works with, like, literally everything else in every one of their other games, so...
Well, that's not always a good indication, but...
Fair.
Let us know. And also let us know below if you like or dislike the Necrons. How do you think they compare to Deathwatch? If you would like to see more of this, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to talk to us on our new Discord, linked below. It is different than the old Discord. Old Discord's still there. You can still go hang out, but now there's officially the Board Game Rundown Discord. If you like board games, check out Board Game Rundown. They're our friends.
We're still going to be hanging out there. So.
Oh, yeah. And we will talk to you next time.